Hi everybody, I'm Ershad from 91 Mobiles. Sony, unlike other smartphone brands like LG, Samsung, HTC and Apple, actually follows a 6-month cycle for its flagship smartphones. Its latest smartphone is the Sony Xperia XZ. Now, we have a review unit of the phone, but before we actually get into the review, I want to give you a small first impressions of what I think about the device. Let's dive right in. The Sony Xperia XZ comes in a polycarbonate shell, unlike other flagship smartphones that these days generally come with a metal body. But at the same time, having said that, it still feels very cohesive and feels nice in the hand as well, thanks to its compact body. It's got a nice 5.2-inch big display up front, and that doesn't take up a lot of the screen estate. On the right, you have the SIM card tray, which actually is a flap and opens directly, but that feels a little scary because it's easy to lose it if you're not careful of it. On the left edge is where a lot of interesting things are happening, because you have the power button, which also incorporates the fingerprint sensor, and below that you have the volume rocker, which is sort of a weird placement because it's not very convenient to actually access the volume rocker. And below the volume rocker you have this wonderful camera shutter button which directly opens the camera app, and it's sort of really interesting on a flagship smartphone. On the top you get a 3.5mm dedicated jack, unlike the iPhone 7 Plus or the 7, which actually doesn't have a headphone jack. And at the bottom you have the USB Type-C port. Now if I turn things around to the back, you will notice that there is the rear camera, and below it you have the flash module as well. Both the back and the front are unfortunately fingerprint magnets, and that is sort of a problem, and you will have to definitely use a microfiber cloth for cleaning it regularly. That's it for the design. Let's move on to the display of the phone. The Sony Xperia XZ comes with a 5.2-inch Full HD display. Let's unlock the screen using the fingerprint sensor that is nestled under my thumb. There you go. It's really fast, it's really responsive, and I think this is the most convenient way and the convenient place to keep the fingerprint sensor. It feels really nice. The Xperia XZ runs Android Marshmallow with Sony's own take on what the UI should look like. It's pretty clean, it's pretty neat, and it's pretty close to the stock Android variant, but there are a ton of bloatware that you can see. Once you open the app drawer, you can see that there are a ton of apps that have been already pre-installed, which is sort of a bummer because we generally like a few apps less than what is there on the phone currently. You can see that Sony also bundles a ton of Sony's very own apps with the phone. Let's head to the settings and find out if this is actually running Android 6.0 Marshmallow or not. And yes, of course it is. And you can see that we've confirmed that it's running Android 6.0 Marshmallow. So that's pretty good. Software wise, it looks very interesting. We'll definitely take a deeper dive into what all you get with the extras that have been added, like the PlayStation app or the live vlog and the other stuff that is around, and also this interesting little app drawer addition that is there over here. After this, let's jump right into the camera app, which is sort of interesting because, okay, this is the first time we're switching on the camera app and it's asking us if we should save the location for the photos, and let's say no there, and it says we can switch to a mode using to another capturing mode like video or manual by just swiping through the screens, which is pretty awesome. Yep, and it works exactly as advertised. So currently we are on the superior auto mode, and it has a 23 megapixel camera, which is possibly the highest resolution camera on a flagship smartphone currently, so which is pretty awesome. We don't know exactly how it performs, but let's just quickly take a photo. Yep, it captures pretty fast, at least on the first glance, and you have multiple modes as well. And you have what's interestingly called camera apps, and you can possibly add a lot of more apps to the existing apps. There's something called an AR effect. Let's look at what it does for us. Okay, let's Let's figure this out. It's asking here to allow recording of audio. This is interesting. Let's just skip all of this and jump right into recording. Tilt the phone to place the dot inside. Let's see this. Okay, as you can see, the surface has been detected, and you can see that there are small goblins roaming around. This is really cool, and that's sort of a 3D fairy again. Okay, let's exit this mode for now. This is very interesting, and we'll definitely check more on the camera app during our full review of the phone. This seems very interesting, and it's got a ton of features, but how does the camera itself perform? We don't know that yet. We'll also quickly take a look at the selfie camera just to figure out if it's good or not. There's a lot of glare that you can see that's happening. Anyway, we will definitely get back to that in the full review. This is very interesting implementation of the software and the camera, and we are really stoked to check out the full review of the phone. Now that you've seen my first impressions of the Sony Xperia XZ, don't forget to stay tuned for a full review of the phone. But before that, don't forget to like, subscribe and share to our YouTube channel. Thank you.